Peter Drucker has a very famous phrase. It is that maybe if you heard it around. Culture, it's a strategy for breakfast every single day. Now, I have a very famous phrase too. It is that if I had a religion, it would be the collective intelligence. The only dogma it would have, it would be the participatory process. Now, do you know that saying where people say that if the mountain doesn't go to Muhammad, Muhammad goes to the mountain? Well, I have seen it with my bare eyes that through collective intelligence, people can actually lift up a mountain and take it to Muhammad or to whoever they want to take it to. Now, welcome to Collective Intelligence as a Competitive Advantage. I am Tai Barroso, born and raised in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. But for the past 15 years, I have been facilitating and designing experiences and processes in South America, West Africa, and Europe. Now, on the next few minutes, I'll explain to you how I, with these bare eyes, also have seen how high performing organizational culture is actually built through facilitation, even though sometimes that's not what it's called. Now, this talk is for you that is a tough leader, is a decision maker. You have a team, you have a small organization, maybe you're a board member or you're management positions, right? If you are delivering attention, if you're delivering training, workshops, if you're delivering classes, but also as a leader, if you're delivering collective collaboration or if you're delivering collective decision making, right? Now, when I talk about facilitation as competitive advantage, I'm talking about facilitation as competitive advantage for you internally, for you and your team members, and also for the participants that, go look for your experiences or your workshops. Now, be with me. Let's start from the beginning. What facilitation is, right? So, facilitation, as I like to say, is the art or the ability to take a group and guide it through a collective shared experience or to a collective shared place, a common place. Now, when I say that, what is this commonplace could look like? It can be a new product, a new service, a new process, or maybe it's just the improvement of a product, service, or process. You might get to a planning, you might get to a strategy, you might get to a manifesto, you might get to, develop a new strategy for your organization or for your team. Now, we're talking about the people you're working with, but also the people you're working for. Now, if today on your team, on your professional journey, you're designing journeys for other people, facilitation is also for you. Second, important. Now, we learn what facilitation is. Now, what facilitation is not. So, facilitation is not a skill, a isolated skill that someone is able to have, and that someone, not everyone has the talent for it. Everyone can learn. I like to say that facilitation is something that everyone that works with people or leads people or guides people through something, it's an ability that they should have. It's an ability, it's a timeless skill. It's multicultural, it's multi-generational and multi-sectorial skill, which is a very important word here. So facilitation is for everyone. You have a team, you have a group, you have participants on your activities. You're guiding them through a process, right? So we learn what facilitation is. We learn what facilitation is not. Now let's learn what experience design is. And I think it's important to distinguish the two of it. Now, when we talk about experience design, we're talking about intentionally planning and designing spaces and sessions and tools and methods so that the participants are able to collaborate. Now, that's from my perspective, right? That's my approach. If you read more about how I work, radical collaboration is one important commitment I have with my clients. But it is also, and this talk is a little bit for me to try to tell you about how being collaborative can be good for you and mostly can be good for your people, which means your team members, the people that you're working with, the people that you're working for, but also it can be very good for your profitability, you know? So, when we talk about what culture is, remember what Peter Drucker said about how culture it's a strategy for breakfast every single day. You know, culture is the collective behaviors, you know, the beliefs, the attitudes of how people work together. Now, nowadays, many organizations look at culture as that beautiful mission, vision, values. And, you know, maybe it says, oh, we are a collaborative organization. What does that exactly mean for the people who are arriving to work with you or to work for you? Being collaborative, you know, do your team members understand what that is, you know? So I have four important reasons of why bringing, you know, an approach to collaboration or an approach to how you deliver your culture or to how you deliver your rituals, because they might, you know, not be either established, they're not written down. But I have four reasons of why human matters in the sense of thinking of the how or the approach or the framework you have or the commitment you have as a facilitation organization or as an experience design centered organization, which means that, you know, having your approach, having your framework, having your commitment is actually going to be able to distinguish you from the rest of the businesses and to show and to deliver more interesting experiences for your team as the ones who are delivering it, but also for the people who are participating on it, right? So we are living in times where AI is this big monster living under our beds, and a lot of people are thinking that they're going to lose their works, that they are going to soon, you know, be replaced by AI. But there are certain things that AI will not do. We still have to remember that AI is a tool, and AI will not substitute being in a room and being able to deal with the complexity of the diversity of people that you have in a room. It's just not going to happen, you know. Facilitation, it is when I say bringing, you know, taking a group and guiding this group to a shared common place. We're talking about guiding a diversity of people, a diversity of knowledge, that collective intelligence. We're talking about a diversity of repertories. We're talking about people with their own backpacks, some people with a suitcase, some people with just a tiny backpack, some people with a fanny pack that are arriving to your organization, that are arriving to your team, and they have so much that they can contribute. But how do we access it? You know, beyond the whole talking about how, you know, as a leader, your organization or your team should be in a safe space. What does that exactly mean? Being safe. What does it mean to be safe in your organization for you? So, as I said, I have four pillars that I think will bring or will make it important for your organization to bring and to be able to actually um, distinguish itself, be more authentic in this market of AI powered. You know, it's let's talk about human power. Let's talk about how humans are able to sit in front of other humans and look at them as humans. You know, humans with the flaws, but also humans with history, humans with backpacks, as I said, humans with repertories, humans with stories that can actually make your organization a space for them to thrive. Okay? So, I think the first commitment when you start thinking of your organization or your team with a facilitation approach, like when you understand how you facilitate, how you design your experiences, you will bring authenticity for your environment. Now, people will be able to be more authentic. What does that mean in a practical way? Being able to be authentic, it's also living with the differences. Now, it's also living with whoever is from a different gender, from a different race, from a different ethnicity, whoever speaks with a different accent. Authenticity, when you promote it on your organizational culture, when you have an approach on your culture that you want people to be authentic, they will automatically feel safer. And when I say people, remember, I'm talking about your people, the people that you hire, the people that you have on your team, the people that you trusted. The same people that when you look at the CV and then when you learn more about them, these people are very authentic, but they need space to be authentic. Now, when you have your approach or your facilitation commitments as a leader, you will have this authenticity or this place to be authentic there, out and about. Now, the second commitment that I find very interesting, and I've learned from seeing it abroad, from seeing it from different organizations, is space to thrive. Now, I said about, the space to be authentic, but some places allow us to be authentic, but doesn't allow us to exactly thrive. Now, what is thriving here? Being more autonomous, being more happy with the work you do, being able to be more creative, being able to be yourself. Now, you can be authentic on your work or with the experiences you're delivering. You have this space to thrive, which means that whatever you're bringing on that backpack or the fanny pack is valued, it's celebrated, and that should be a cultural ritual. Everyone is bringing something different. Let's thrive with what we're bringing. It's like making a soup. Imagine this, right? So you have people bringing different spices from different places because they've been to different places. Now, when we get all of these spices together, that is your competitive advantage as an organization, as a team, as a leader, right? Third commitment is completely related with authenticity and space to thrive. It's the space to innovate, you know? um, when we are able to bring this repertoire, when we're able to each and every one of us to bring our little sauce to the soup, we're able to innovate and think of different ways where we can mix and match our knowledge, where we can mix and match our know-how. Maybe you have hired or you have someone on your team that it was hired to work in a certain area. Now, if they have the space to thrive and if they have the space to be authentic, now they have the space to innovate and maybe change areas and maybe learn about themselves. So we're talking here about a moment of space and time where things change and things are changing very fast in the world. So we do need to have people able to change fast and to innovate, to, thrive fast. And the only way your people is going to do that is if you have it very clear on your organizational culture, right? The last but not the least and not the last, well, the last in this conversation of the commitment that I find important for you to have, it's to respect and celebrate the differences. Now, we will learn more about each other. We will be able to, contribute with our know-how, but we also need to learn to understand and respect that we will be different and the outcomes will be different. What does that mean? That means that when everyone puts all of their spices in their, in that soup, maybe the soup will not come with the same flavor every time. But the difference from your soup is that you have already been able with a facilitation and cultural organizational culture, you have been able to already, you know, mold and understand what are the what spices you need so that people will be tasting different experiences from you, but they will know that is yours because that is the soul of your delivery, whether it's a product, whether it's a service, whether it's a class, it's a workshop, it's a training, whether it's an experience of walking in your store, whether it's an online experience where you're buying something. What is your approach? What is your, you know, what exactly is your framework? How is this framework set? Some people have frameworks, some organizations have frameworks for absolutely everything. Now, you want to buy something, you have a framework for that. You want to sell something, you have a framework for that. You have a clear CRM, you know, you have a clear journey for many things. But what is it, as you know, Peter said, what is it that your culture has been eating when we talk about all of these processes? How are the people from your organization, how is your team behaving? And why are they behaving that way? Are they behaving the way that they are today because someone told them to do? Because whoever was there before was doing that? Are they doing it because they have a framework or everything is just loose? Now, I'll tell you, in the majority of organizations, everything is just loose. So it's very difficult for you to understand that culture. It's mostly when it's well done. It's mostly, you know, the leaders passing on. But it's, you know, when someone changes, when you change the leader, or maybe when you're onboarding someone, how does that person understand what is your approach? What is your framework? Now, this is an invitation, right? This is an invitation, and for you to start thinking that the way that you have your framework or your pipeline for sales, for marketing, for content producers, how's your human pipeline? How are you behaving with each other? I'll give you a simple example, right? When we think about our meetings, your organizational meetings, what does it look like? What does every meeting look like? Now we're going to talk about another interesting and important element of this conversation. Every culture needs to have rituals. You know, the rituals, which are the repetitive actions or the repetitive phrases sometimes, you know, whatever it's being repeated, the rituals are the one who are holding your culture together. Thus, these rituals are actually related to what you believe as a leader. Are these rituals empowering and reinforcing it? Or are these rituals completely nothing to do with what you believe as a leader, but also with what your organization should be delivering for your clients or for your stakeholders, for your program participants? Are you being able now and today to actually have coherence institutionally? It is very difficult, you know, as I said, working with people is a people problem, and people are very complex. But now, how about we use this complexity of people, you know, as your most valuable asset? How about you do the opposite? Instead of trying to have everyone in your organization behaving exactly the same, how about you promote authenticity, space to thrive, innovative spaces? How about you promote and respect and celebrate the differences? I know that speaking at this, especially here, now looking at you exactly in the faces, it sounds very easy. I mean, Of course, people can be authentic. Of course, can be people have space to thrive. Of course, people can be innovative on my team. But are they, though? What is the framework allowing you for that, allowing them for that? What are the rituals that you have today in your organization for you to be for them to, to be thriving, for your people to be thriving? And I want to reinforce the your people part because people are the most valuable thing that we have on our organizations. They are the most valuable thing you have. It's your people, it's your team, it's your colleagues, it's your employees, it's your people. They are the most valuable asset you will always and forever have because each and every single part of them are so unique that you have a chance to create a soup with a very specific flavor or with a very specific mixture of flavors. So you should look at that as richness and not as a complex problem. I understand we are not raised to look at what is different and just go on and hug it, right? We're not. We're not. But the moment we are able to, find the tools, find the possibilities, find the resources, state it, practice it culturally, we are able to get so much more in individually from our people and collectively for our business. That is the truth. And that's not Tai speaking about it. We have had so many reports from big consultancy firms speaking about how diversity is something that you should have in your organization. Now, and that's very profitable. Now, beautiful. We know that. How do we deal with diversity? We have to change our organizational culture. And our organizational culture has to allow us to be authentic, has to allow us to have space to thrive, to be innovative. And that's your role as a leader to bring this to you. Now, I know I spoke a lot about a lot of things, but the main goal here is to show you that when you have a facilitation approach to your organizational culture, you were talking about bringing a more balanced workplace. We're talking about bringing more autonomy. We're talking about, balancing the knowledge in the repertoire. We are talking about less micromanagement. And less micromanagement allows people to thrive. And everyone wants to thrive. Personally, collectively, everyone wants to thrive. I know you as a leader wants to thrive too. So my invitation is go look at your approach, evaluate it. Look at it as any other framework you look internal. Now you're looking at your marketing pipeline. Why don't you look about how you behave? What does your culture looks like? What are the beliefs your organization have? Now this is not for you to write from just, I think we believe on this. Look at your people. What are they bringing? And what should be fixed? What can be actually managed? How can you mold that better so that you actually look at all of this difference and use it as your competitive advantage? So the invitation is, what is your framework? What is your approach? What are your commitments? What are your cultural commitments? What are the rituals that are backing up your cultural commitments? As we are going to the to the final touches of this talk, this is my invitation. Now, go and map. If you're having trouble with mapping it, contact me. Maybe I can help you. Organizationally, for Awele, we do that. We have an experience design and facilitation training. It's a tailored bespoke training where we diagnose, we understand what your organization or your team needs are, and we design a specific training and experience design and facilitation training for you, for your organization, for your needs. Now we're talking about understanding your culture, understanding your rituals, improving them, adding new rituals, taking rituals off, understanding what is it so that you can all collectively go from one place to the other. We can do that for your leadership, where you can actually guide your company, your organizational to go from this shared collective intelligence, right? And I do that personal. So if you are a coach, if you are a mentor, if you are a teacher, if you are a facilitator yourself, and you want to understand and improve your facilitation approach, I'm here for you. So thank you very much for watching. You can look me up on taibarroso.com, or you can go for Awele's website. It's awele.co. I will have it right here somewhere on the screen. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope to hear from you. Get in touch. You don't need to have all of the questions, and I might not have all of the answers, but we can start together. Thank you very much.